All right, so crazy times that we're in right now. Everything is super expensive, whether it be food, rent, just really just the cost of living just in general is just super sky high. So I know a lot of people, they don't necessarily have a lot of money, hundreds of dollars at a time to kind of spend on fragrances. So in this video, I've got a top 10 list of my sort of top 10 fragrances that I have in my collection that have like a base price of $30 or below, and that I feel like are really good choices for someone who are just kind of looking for like a really cheap but easy to wear and mass appealing sort of fragrance. All right, so just to kind of start the list off here, I have Lattafa's Asad, and this is going to be like your Dior Sauvage Elixir scent profile. It's not going to be exactly the same as Dior Sauvage Elixir. Sauvage Elixir is definitely going to be stronger than this. It's going to be more refined. It is also going to have more of sort of like a mature edge to it. Sauvage Elixir, it has a much heavier emphasis on that sort of licorice note, whereas this one is, I would say, a lot heavier on like the vanilla and spices. So I do really like this one a lot. It does give you pretty decent longevity and projection, and for a price of only $20, I think that's why this one has become so popular. And again, this one is going to be Lattafa's Asad. All right, so next fragrance is going to be from the house of Fragrance World, and this is like their take on MFK's Grand Soir, and this is Barakkat Amber Eve from Fragrance World. So typically you can kind of find this one for like around, $20 to $25 or so. And even though this one isn't exactly the same as MFK's Grand Soir, I would say that this one, it doesn't necessarily hold on to like that fizzy, sort of amber smell that you get, in the initial opening of MFK's Grand Soir. It doesn't hold on to that as long. Definitely starts to turn a lot more sort of resinous and thick a lot earlier. But this still has a very good performance, and it still kind of, I would say for the most part, sticks to that scent profile of MFK's Grand Soir. So I would say really if anyone, likes the way that fragrance smells, I still think that they would really enjoy wearing this fragrance. Obviously, it's not going to be, of the same quality of the MFK, with it being at the price point that it's at. But honestly, this is a fragrance that, after smelling it side by side with the Grand Soir, it doesn't make me want to go out and purchase MFK's Grand Soir. All right. So I would say absolutely check this one out, man. Like I said, performance on it is great. The smell is great on it. It doesn't smell super synthetic or anything like that. And for $25, I would say you really can't beat this one. So again, this is going to be Fragrance World's Amber Eve. All right, so next one is going to be from the house of Cremo, and this is kind of like I would say a slightly more fruitier and sweeter version of Victor and Raw Spice Bomb Extreme, and this is going to be Spice and Black Vanilla. All right, so you can see here, I have a little dent in this bottle. I don't really wear this one as much as what I used to when I first got this fragrance a few years ago. But this is, like I said, it's like a slightly more fruitier take on Spice Bomb Extreme. So it has very good projection, very good longevity. I get, at least like over 10 hours when wearing this fragrance. And this is just going to be, I would say, a really nice sort of warm and cozy sort of scent. I only really reach for this when it gets like really cold outside for the most part. And I would say that I only really reach for this one pretty much at night for the most part. But if you're looking for like a super cheap alternative of Spice Bomb Extreme, then I would say absolutely pick this one up. These Cremo fragrances, they typically only go for like around $20 at Walmart. So they're really easy to find and they're super affordable. And this is a 100 ml bottle. All right. So definitely check this one out if you like Spice Bomb Extreme, or I would say really any sort of Spice Bomb fragrance. Check this one out. Again, this is Cremo, Spice, and Black Vanilla. All right, so next one, this is, I would say, like one of those sort of hype beast fragrances from Lattafa. This is Lattafa's Fakhar Black. So this is like their interpretation of YSL EDP. I've seen some people also say that this is actually closer to like what YSL Live smells like. I haven't smelled that particular fragrance, but I can definitely say that this does come pretty close to, you know, what YSL EDP does, at least, you know, what that fragrance smells like. And I mean, this is going to be pretty much that fragrance, I would say, for like around $19.99 for the most part is what I normally see this fragrance going for on most sites. So it's going to give you really good projection. I would say pretty good longevity as well, at least about 7 to 8 hours or so. And it is going to be like one of those sort of mass appealing blue, but yet kind of bubblegum sweet sort of fragrances, you know, that you can pretty much wear at any time. So this is definitely, I would say, a really good starter fragrance for somebody who's either just getting into Middle Eastern fragrances or just fragrances in general, and you don't necessarily have a lot of money. This is a 100 ml bottle, like I said, for $20, and it gives you a really great smell and good longevity and performance. So again, this is going to be Lattafa's Fakhar Black. All right, so the next one up is going to be from the house of Emperor Perfumes, and this is, in my opinion, I would say a much lesser well-known gem that's sitting out there. This is going to be Prive Turquoise from Emperor Perfumes, and this is their take on Armani Prive's Blue Turquoise. So I know Blue Turquoise, just in general as a fragrance, at least in the fragrance community, doesn't really seem to be that popular of a fragrance. But in my opinion, it's a really, really amazing fragrance. So it's basically, it's like a aquatic style fragrance, you know, that has like some saltiness to it, but it also has like a really sort of sweet vanillic sort of edge to it as well. All right, so it's definitely, it's a very unique fragrance. It's a fragrance that I feel like you can kind of wear really at any time, you know, whether it be day or night time. I would say you can pretty much wear this in just about any sort of, you know, weather, whether it be summer or winter, spring or fall, doesn't really matter. And this also gives me really, really good performance as well. So this is going to give you at least over 10 hours of performance, at least is what I get. And the projection on this, I would say, is not as good as what you get with the original from Armani Prive. That one definitely, I would say, is a little bit louder and more diffusive. You know, just, I would say the overall nature of this fragrance is slightly different. So this is going to be a little bit more sweeter and thicker than what the Armani is, whereas the Armani is a little bit more, I would say, on the aromatic side, and I would say more kind of heavier on black pepper and incense than this one is. But this one still comes about, I would say, 90% closer so to the original from Armani. So definitely check this one out, man, if you like Blue Turquoise, but you don't have the money to spend on, you know, Armani Prive fragrance. Again, this is going to be Emperor Perfumes Prive Turquoise. All right, so another one from the house of Lattafa, and this is going to be Lattafa's Liam Blue Shine. So Liam Blue Shine, this fragrance, when I purchased it, it was definitely more than $30, but you can now find this one, I want to say, for normally like around $20 to $25, and this is a 100 ml bottle. And this is basically their take on Acqua di Gio Profondo. Not the newest version of Profondo, but like the original version of Profondo. And I mean, pretty much this is, I would say, extremely close to Profondo. I think there were like some slight sort of differences that I got between this and Profondo, especially in the opening. And I also think that this comes off as being just slightly more sweeter than what Profondo does. But this actually gives me better performance than what Profondo does. And I would say, you know, in terms of the performance, I'm talking about the overall longevity. I definitely get better longevity, at least about 7 to 8 hours or so of longevity out of this one. Whereas with the Profondo, I got more like, I would say, around 5 hours or so max. So definitely, if you like, that sort of aquatic style fragrance, that also kind of has like a sort of barbershop sort of fougere sort of feel to it, the way that Profondo has, then definitely check this one out. And again, this is going to be Lattafa's Liam Blue Shine. All right, so the next one, this is a fragrance that you can pretty much find anywhere. You can find this in stores like TJ Maxx and Ross. You can find it at Walmart. You can, get it on eBay and you normally can get this in 100 ml for like under $15 in most cases. This is going to be Nautica Voyage. All right, so Nautica Voyage, I understand that this is, definitely a dated fragrance. At this point, it is a pretty old fragrance, but it is a very good selling fragrance. This one, I know some people do hate it. It's like a fresh aquatic style fragrance that kind of has like this sort of cucumber smell to it. But this one, it really, really performs really good. Again, especially for like a $12 fragrance. I got this bottle as like a tester with no cap from eBay years ago for like around $11.99 or something like that, or $10.99. And I mean, this fragrance, like I said, when you spray it on, it lasts a long time, at least like 8 to 10 hours. It projects, really, really nicely, I would say, at least for like the first 2-3 hours or so. And I mean, it just overall, it gives you a nice, really clean, aquatic, sort of cooling sort of smell. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. I haven't really worn this one that much here recently, but I definitely think that this is a fragrance that, as long as they're making this fragrance, I'll always kind of have in the collection. I would say this is definitely going to be a fragrance that you can easily wear like on super hot days, out in the summer where, you don't necessarily want to wear a super expensive fragrance because you're going to sweat it off. This is going to be one that you'll be able to wear and, basically douse yourself in it if you want to. And it's not really going to go anywhere, at least anytime soon. All right. So I use this as like a gym scent a lot of times as well. So this is a really nice beater fragrance, I would say, for sure. And definitely a good fragrance kind of for anyone who's like just starting off with their collection. So again, this one is going to be Nautica Voyage. All right, so the next one is going to be from the House of Maison Alhambra. This is their take on Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. This is Lovely Cherie. And this is a fragrance that, man, I really, really love this fragrance. It does lean slightly feminine just, because it is like a really sort of sweet, vanillic, boozy sort of cherry scent. So it does lean on the feminine side in that sort of respect. But I do really love wearing this fragrance, especially in like the more sort of cooler months. Definitely at night is more so when I kind of, reach for this particular fragrance. And I feel like this is a fragrance that can be worn, upscale, when you're dressed up, or just sort of casually as well, when you just want to have like a really nice, like I said, again, boozy, sweet, sort of vanillic sort of scent that is going to last you quite a long time. I get at least 8 hours with this fragrance. Definitely better performance than what you get, with the original from Tom Ford for sure. So again, if you love Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, but you don't really love the performance of that fragrance, then I would say absolutely check this one out. Again, this is Maison Alhambra's Lovely Cherie. All right, so the next one, this is like a classic fragrance that I'm sure a lot of you all are familiar with. This is going to be from Elizabeth Arden, and this is Green Tea from Elizabeth Arden. All right. So this is like a green tea masterpiece that Francis Kirkjohn actually created for Elizabeth Arden. And this fragrance, man, even though it doesn't really last that long, this is like a really, really refreshing, citrusy sort of green tea type of scent. I really, really love the way that this smells. This is definitely going to be a fragrance that, you would more so kind of reach for. I would say more so kind of like in the summertime for sure, like on a really hot, humid day. It's going to give you like that really sort of relaxing, cooling, you know, sort of effect. But the longevity on this is not going to be good at all. So, I mean, I would say probably around 2.5 to 3 hours or so of total longevity with this. And the projection on it isn't super great either. I would say it's kind of below average for like the first hour, hour and a half or so max. And then after that, it gets pretty close to your skin. So this is definitely going to be one that, you know, if you're planning to wear this one for like a full day, you're going to want to kind of, you know, carry around a decant and like really, I would say probably refresh yourself after every like hour, hour and a half or so. But it is a very, very nice, refreshing smelling scent. And you can typically find this one for like around $15 to $20 or so. And I believe this is a 100 ml bottle. Yeah, this is a 100 ml bottle. So definitely, man, check this one out. Again, this is Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea. All right, and then the last fragrance on the list, this is going to be from Fragrance World, and this is their take on YSL Y's EDT. This is F Eau de Parfum from Fragrance World. So this fragrance, this is, I would say, nearly identical for the most part to the original YSL Y EDT. The opening is, I would say, just slightly sort of different. I definitely felt like I think the original from YSL Y, or yeah, the original YSL Y EDT, I think that one, the opening, I preferred a little bit more. This one came off as being, you know, pretty harsh, I would say, in the immediate opening. But pretty much after like that, you know, maybe 2 to 3 minute mark of letting the two fragrances dry down, this one was pretty much identical to the original YSL. And I mean, for the price that you can get this one for, which is like $29.99 at Bandier Fragrances for a 100 ml bottle, I feel like, man, this one is definitely worth, you know, purchasing for sure. I was definitely planning on getting like an original bottle of YSL Y EDT, the newer reformulated version of that fragrance. But with this one lasting about, you know, 6 to 7 hours or so on me, I feel like there's no need for me to go out and, you know, purchase a bottle of the original from YSL. So if you're someone who really loves the way that YSL Y EDT smells, you know, you like that really sort of citrusy, aldehydic, you know, fresh sort of scent that you get from, you know, YSL Y EDT, then definitely take a look at this one. Again, this is F Eau de Parfum from Fragrance World. All right, so that's the list, man. That is the list of my top 10 fragrances that I have that have a base price of $30 or below in my collection. Let me know what you all thought of this collection in the comments below. Do you all have all of these fragrances or just some of them? Do you not have any of them? Have you not smelled any of them? Let me know in the comments, man. And again, if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. Also, to anyone watching, leave a like and a comment on the video. And again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see y'all in the next video.